the Sahara, a name that conjures images of endless dunes. It speaks of vast, sun-baked landscapes. Here life clings on in the most extraordinary ways. This immense desert, the largest hot desert in the world, is a place of stark beauty. It is also a place of constant change. For many centuries, its boundaries have ebbed and flowed like a slow, sandy tide. But now, something different is happening. The Sahara is on the move, and its expansion is a matter of growing concern for us all. We must look closely at this magnificent yet formidable natural wonder. The Sahara Desert is truly enormous. It stretches right across the northern part of Africa. It covers an area almost as large as the United States of America. Imagine a sea of sand, rock and gravel baking under a relentless sun. For thousands of years it has shaped the cultures and histories of the people living on its fringes. It is a barrier, yet also a route for ancient trade. Its ecosystems, though sparse, are unique and precious. Many remarkable creatures and plants have adapted to survive its harsh conditions, showing life's incredible resilience. But this ancient desert is not static. It is growing larger. Its southern edge, in particular, is pushing into semi-arid lands known as the Sahel. This region was once more fertile, supporting farming and grazing. Now, the sands are slowly claiming these precious lands. This process of desert expansion, or desertification, is a complex one. It is driven by a combination of natural cycles and increasingly by human activities. Understanding this phenomenon is crucial, not just for Africa, but for the entire planet. In this exploration, we will journey into the heart of this environmental challenge. We will look at the powerful forces causing the Sahara to expand. We will examine how climate change is accelerating this process. We will also consider the human activities that are sadly contributing to the problem. By understanding the causes and observing the evidence, we can then turn our attention to the impacts on the environment and the people who depend on it. And finally, we must ask, what can be done to slow this advancing desert? One of the most significant drivers behind the Sahara's expansion is our changing global climate. The Earth is warming, and this warming trend has profound effects on weather patterns everywhere. In North Africa, this can mean less rainfall in areas that are already dry. It can also mean that the rain, when it does fall, is more erratic and intense, leading to soil erosion rather than gentle replenishment. Higher temperatures also increase evaporation from the soil and from plants, making the land drier still. These subtle shifts accumulate over time, tilting the balance towards desert conditions. Natural climate cycles have always played a role in the Sahara's size. For example, variations in the Earth's orbit can influence the strength of the African monsoon. This monsoon brings vital summer rains to the Sahel region, just south of the Sahara. Scientists believe that thousands of years ago, the Sahara was much greener. This was due to a stronger monsoon. However, human-induced climate change is now amplifying these natural cycles. It is pushing the system beyond its normal variations, making droughts more frequent and severe. This makes it harder for the land to recover. Human activities are also playing a significant part in this story of expansion. Deforestation is a major concern. Trees are cut down for firewood, for building materials, or to clear land for agriculture. Trees are vital because their roots help to bind the soil together. They also provide shade and help to retain moisture. When trees are removed, the soil becomes loose and vulnerable. It can easily be blown away by the wind or washed away by rain. This loss of topsoil degrades the land, making it less able to support plant life. Furthermore, overgrazing by livestock can have a devastating impact. If too many animals, cattle, sheep or goats, are kept on a piece of land, they eat the vegetation faster than it can regrow. Their hooves also compact the soil, making it harder for water to penetrate. Unsustainable farming practices, such as planting the same crops year after year without replenishing soil nutrients, also contribute. These practices deplete the soil, making it less fertile and more prone to turning into desert. These human pressures often intensify when populations grow or when people face economic hardship. The evidence for the Sahara's expansion is clear and worrying. Scientific studies have tracked these changes over decades. For instance, research conducted by scientists at the University of Maryland, published in the Journal of Climate, analyzed rainfall data from 1920 to 2013. Their findings were startling. They concluded that the Sahara Desert has expanded by about 10% during this period. This expansion is most noticeable in the summer months, when the desert's area grew by as much as 16%. This data provides strong evidence that the desert is indeed marching southwards. The environmental impact of this expansion is profound. One of the most immediate consequences is the loss of arable land. This is land that can be used for growing crops. As the desert advances, fertile soil turns to barren sand. This reduces the amount of land available for agriculture, which is the backbone of many economies in the Sahel region. Water sources, such as lakes and rivers, also shrink or dry up completely. Lake Chad, for example, a vital water source for millions, has shrunk dramatically in recent decades due to climate change and water extraction exacerbated by the encroaching desert. Biodiversity also suffers greatly. As habitats change and become drier, many plant and animal species struggle to survive. Plants that are adapted to semi-arid conditions may not be able to cope with full desert environments. Animals that depend on these plants for food and shelter are also affected. This can lead to a decline in local wildlife populations and, in some cases, local extinctions. The delicate web of life in these transitional zones is disrupted, leading to a less resilient and less diverse ecosystem. This loss of biodiversity weakens the environment's ability to provide essential services. The human cost of the expanding Sahara is perhaps the most immediate and troubling. Millions of people in the Sahel region depend directly on the land for their livelihoods. They are farmers and pastoralists. As their land becomes less productive, they face increasing food insecurity and poverty. Water scarcity becomes a daily struggle. This can lead to conflict over dwindling resources. Often people are forced to leave their homes and migrate to other areas in search of better conditions, leading to displacement and social challenges in new regions. The expanding desert creates a ripple effect of hardship. While the challenge of the expanding Sahara is immense, it is not insurmountable. There is hope, and there are actions that can be taken. A crucial first step is tackling global climate change. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions from burning fossil fuels is essential to limit further warming. International agreements like the Paris Agreement aim to achieve this. Every nation, and indeed every individual, has a role to play in shifting towards cleaner energy sources and more sustainable lifestyles. This global effort can help to stabilize the climate patterns that influence the desert's edge. On a more local and regional level, sustainable land management practices are key. Reforestation and afforestation, planting trees where they have been lost or where they did not grow before, can make a huge difference. Trees help to protect the soil, improve water retention, and can even influence local rainfall. One ambitious example is the Great Green Wall Initiative in Africa. This aims to create a vast belt of trees and vegetation across the Sahel from Senegal to Djibouti. The goal is to restore degraded land and combat desertification, providing food security and jobs. Improving agricultural techniques is also vital. Practices like agroforestry, which combines trees with crops, can help to make farming more sustainable. Using drought-resistant crop varieties can ensure better harvests, even with less rainfall. Water conservation measures, such as building small dams to capture rainwater or using efficient irrigation systems like drip irrigation, can help to make the most of scarce water resources. Educating farmers about these techniques and providing support for them to adopt new methods is incredibly important for long-term success. Ultimately, addressing the expansion of the Sahara requires a combined effort. It needs commitment from governments, international organizations, local communities, and individuals. Scientific research must continue to monitor the changes and guide effective solutions. While the Sahara's growth presents a formidable threat to both nature and humanity, concerted action can help to slow its advance. By restoring land, managing resources wisely, and addressing the root causes of climate change, we can work towards a future where people and nature can thrive, even at the edges of the world's greatest desert. The challenge is great, but so is our capacity for innovation and cooperation.